world, welcome to Gavite Games. After 3 weeks of doing what that jackass Magicacker's done, it's finally time to relax and play a good old-fashioned single-player game. Rayman
Wait!
Keller? What are you doing interrupting my show?
You're doing a modern game again!
But I'm not doing a modern game.
And you said I could be on your show!
Well, yeah, but I'm not doing...
And I have Rayman Origins and I want to review it with you!
Okay, cool, fine, whatever. Hello world, welcome to Gavite
And Keller.
Games. Fine. Welcome to Gavite and Keller Games. This week we're reviewing Rayman.
Origins.
I wanted to do the PlayStation 1 version.
Well, I want to do Origins as well.
But it's my show!
And mine, so begin the intro.
Fine.
Gavites Games.
Right, well, seeing as this is my show, I get to go first. The original Rayman was released in 1995 on the Atari Jaguar, and released on the PlayStation 1 about a month later. I'll be reviewing the PlayStation 1 version because you're more likely to have gone to the moon than actually played the Atari Jaguar, let alone played Rayman on it. The story in the original is that the Great Protoon has been stolen by the evil Mr. Dark, scattering all the Electoons which hold the world in balance. After Batilda the Fairy fails to defeat Mr. Dark, Rayman is called upon to recover the lost Electoons and defeat Mr. Dark to return the Protoon back to its rightful place and restore order to the world. First of all, Electoons and Protoons. Like the electrons and protons on an atom. See what you did there, Ubisoft? When you start up the game, you skip your way through the first level, which is about as hard as wet cardboard. You are then visited by Batilda the Fairy for the first time, and she gives you the ability to throw your disembodied fist at opponents. Throughout the game, she will drop in and out and hand new abilities to you, including the ability to hang off ledges, to fly with your hair, and to sprint. Why she doesn't give the planet's last hope all the magical abilities she can the first time is a question that's never answered. Anyways, the first 3 levels and boss are redrunculously easy, even if you have 1 brain cell and no thumbs, you're able to make it through them. This, however, puts you in the exact wrong state of mind, because if you attempt the same ham-fisted tactics elsewhere in the game, you will die. You will die oh so much. However, is this due to the controls? Well, yes and no. The way you control Rayman through all the worlds feels good if a little stiff. Each of the buttons for the controlling the limbless hero makes sense. X for jumping, standard attacks with square, these will seem familiar to anyone who's held the PlayStation controller. The stiffness only comes in when attempting the more specialised moves, for example swinging on vines and helicoptering with your hair. They're not so much difficult to pull off, it's just more that the controls don't feel as smooth as the jumping or punching mechanics, making them feel well stiff and not as user-friendly. So Rayman pulls a fast one on you in the first world, as all worlds after that point require a much more refined approach, leading to a lot of people to being stuck in the second world, leading it to become very fondly remembered, bizarrely. I mean, I discovered Equal Gavite save from back in the day, and he was halfway through the second world, lost all his continues with only 4 lives. So, what's the rest of the game like, I bet you're wondering? Well, it plays a lot like any Mega Drive game I've ever played, and as challenging as any Mega Drive game I've ever played. You can tell this was developed during the days when the primary goals were be as difficult as possible, and only those with the thumbs of a ninja ever saw the final boss. And unlike a lot of games from back in the day, the fact that there are save points incorporated doesn't affect the difficulty at all. This game has fairly sparsely laid out save points, but it's not in a cheap kind of way. It's done in a way which rewards you for good gameplay rather than a second prize from getting your ass kicked in a level. On to art design. Each of the design of the levels are fairly unique even now. Rather than the standard fire, grass, water and mechanical levels that populate 90% of side-scrollers, this game presents rather bizarre levels, like Bandland, where each of the different parts of the level are based on musical instruments. Or Picture City, based on a pencil case by the look of things, one with a leaky pen. Even the graphics hold up pretty well against modern side-scrollers, because Ubisoft used the shiny new CD technology to pimp out the tried and true 2D platformer. rather than experiment with the untested and slightly broken early 3D, which was still before Mario 64 taught people how it was done. So the gameplay is good, the design is interesting, and the graphics are pretty damn good even now. Do I even have anything bad to say about it? Why yes I do. The game relies way too much on backtracking to collect all the Electoons. In a game like this, which can become stupidly hard at points, this is not really acceptable. Even though your upgrades can make some earlier, more harassing levels seem a little friendlier. It's a lot like putting a bow tie on a charging bull. It may look a little friendlier, but it'll still catch you off guard. Whilst there are a good variety of enemies, certain ones will pop up more often than I would like. You see those little blue midget gits all over the damn place. So that's my take on the first ever Rayman game. Now on to Keller apparently for the new one.
Rayman Origins is a really cool game. It's a 2D platform game. I haven't actually played anything since Rayman, like the original Rayman. The game starts in the snoring tree, and Rayman, and now he has all these friends. Going back to the Team Ds, they're sleeping in the snoring tree. They have this god who created their world, the Glade of Dreams. The Land of the Living Dead, which is another level you have to complete. They pick up on the snoring, and then they launch this huge attack, and they ambush and attack the friends. When they escape, they find the Bubble Dreamer has gone absolutely mental. He is like batshit crazy. Again, like the original game, Rayman and his friends have to go and save all the crazy little pink, cute Electoons. There are fairies to be rescued around each world, and in turn they give Rayman powers, sort of like running up walls and stuff. Batilla is still one of the fairies, although she has definitely developed as a woman since the first one. All of the fairies are equally attractive, as they have very little clothing and mega sexy curves, and are definitely flirtatious with Rayman. The bosses are wacky and cool, and some are easier to beat than others. In order to beat the bosses, it's standard to avoid their attacks, and when they slow down, to attack them, where a pink bubble protrudes out of them from a random place. After a few hits, they are destroyed. Basically, you have to change positions a lot, and there is most certainly a lot of moaning and grunting involved, but it helps get the job done. After all the boss levels are beaten in the various lands, the fairies tell you to rescue the kings of the different worlds, as they have turned to evil. You have to go back to the worlds you went through before to complete a few levels and then defeat all of the kings who are the bosses of those levels, so they can send their power to open the portal to the living dead. The game also has multiplayer options, allowing a 4-way gaming experience to occur. This is beneficial as some of the levels are more difficult, which allows for revival by teammates, and more Electoons can be saved. It doesn't really change the complexity of the level, it just lets you plow through it a lot quicker. So another wicked and yet distracting thing about Rayman Origins is the remote controls. As I played on the Wii, I had the option of playing with either the classic controller or the nunchuck, and the latter was quite messy due to the alluring vibrations it produced. The classic controller is far better, as accuracy is critical in some areas of the game. Aim is everything in this one, boys. So the graphics are pretty awesome. There is always an excellent view on each and every level. They have definitely gone all out to make sure the graphics are lush and voluptuous. On a serious note though, the creators have put in a lot of effort to keep up with the new demands of gaming cultures, whilst maintaining a traditional Rayman look that the true Rayman fans love. All in all, Rayman Origins is a colourful and invigorating game that you should play with all of your play friends, but preferably with little clothing, as it gets hot in there.
So that's boobs for the Boob Station and Boobman Origins. I mean, Rayman for the PlayStation and Rayman Origins. Boobs. Come on, Gav, focus. You can do this. Focus. Not about the games! Right, both are good games for their respective consoles, though I will say Rayman Origins' lack of lives or continue system probably makes it a more civilized difficulty than the original. Anyway, this was fun, I guess. Anything you want to say in closing, Keller?
Thank you for inviting me to your show, guys. I'm Keller, and I don't kill people, I have sex with them.
Well, awesome. I mean, I'm Gavite, see the entire word later? I am the nitpick.
Hello!
Boobs!
Gavites Games.